All right, Bobby, you're our intro guy.
Today is a special day. And today is a podcast where we talk about that special day. Hi, I'm Bobby Parker.
And I'm Joey Nickel.
Welcome to Today Is.
All right. Okay. All right. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta get this open. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, they have the tiny lids now. Water bottles have tiny lids, which is
tiny lids.
good for the environment, I think. I think that's why they do it. I don't know. Or it's cheaper. I bet it's cheaper. It's cheaper is what it is.
Yeah.
But also they have the thinner plastic now with the water bottles. So it's like you're crunching the water bottle while you're trying to open the lid. Yeah. I always have trouble with these.
It is, I believe, a design flaw.
All right, excuse us while we both take a drink.
Yes,
and
that was that was awkward, and I realized it right when I was lifting that to my face.
It is. Listen, I am thirsty today. It is a hot day today.
It's very warm.
Probably the hottest day of the year so far. Can you think of one that have we hit? I think we hit 100 today. It was close if we didn't.
Last I heard was 94, but it was also before noon.
Yeah. I think, in my car, now I don't know how accurate my car thermometer is. In my car, it was 97 on the way over here.
Ooh, yeah.
So, I don't know. We could have hit 100, but even if we didn't hit 100, still, I think that's the hottest it's been.
Yeah, and it's miserable.
This year so far.
Miserable hot.
And it is humid outside. It is my glasses are already fogged up.
Yes. It's weird because when I go places and usually when I'm at home, I have to bundle up because I feel cold in the air conditioning.
Yeah.
And I go outside and it's like it's like I'm wearing a sweater.
Now, do you feel colder now that you've lost weight?
Yes, absolutely.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
Isn't it a weird feeling?
It is a very weird feeling. Like I have gloves that I've worn like in places just because my hands are
mother never got over that. Like she had gastric bypass surgery 20 years ago, maybe more. More. I think it was more than 20 years ago, and she still is she's still cold all the time. She just never got over that, which is, I guess, nice. I guess it's a good thing if you live in Florida.
Yeah. I mean,
if you live in Ohio, probably not so much, but that's probably a good thing if you live in Florida.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Like I'm not like super thrilled about, but I'm okay with it. It's not a huge thing because
you probably sweat less.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
You've been sweating less?
Yeah, I do sweat less. And frankly, I've always been cold.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's gotten worse.
Yeah. I've always bundled up. I've always used had a lot of blankets. It hasn't been as bad being fat, but I've always run cold. So. Well,
I'm just checking my levels here. These headphones that I'm wearing right now are almost useless. I can barely hear anything out of these headphones. So I'm just having a monitor our levels to make sure we're not popping.
Right.
I might turn me down a little bit. I have a voice that carries more than others. I have a very cutting. My voice can really cut through a crowd.
You do have a resonance.
Yeah.
I can turn that on, but it's not a natural.
Not your natural.
No, I'm actually naturally much more soft spoken, and I have to speak up for things like this just so I'll be heard. I was always the kid that sat not in the back of the class, but in the middle of the class, and made the comments that made the other kids get in trouble. So that was my forte.
Well, my voice is fairly recognizable. Like teachers always knew when I was talking, and I sound like my dad and my brother. So teachers always knew who my dad was whenever it was open house night or whatever.
Right.
They would always know right away who my dad was. Now what's going on? Now I feel like I've gone way down in volume. Check 1 2 check.
Oh.
Say check for me.
Check.
All right. I don't know what happened.
Check.
All right. I think I'm okay.
Okay.
All right. I think I turned myself down a little more than I wanted to.
Okay.
So a couple of things going on. We had our first open mic at Lily's downtown.
Yes.
We had a little bit of a unexpected hiccup. There was a birthday party there.
Yes.
And the room we were intending to use, they have a kind of a side back room situation, and it seats about 30 to 40 people, depending on how you arrange it. Right. And that was going to be our room, and there happened to be a birthday party there. So we did it in the other side of the restaurant, which also kind of has a back room situation. But it is very small, small area, and very compact. And even though I don't think we had too many people for that area, it was so close that I think everybody was too uncomfortable to sit in there. Like the comics still ended up sitting outside of the room because I think everybody was too uncomfortable to sit in that. There was no back of that room; like it was all front.
Right. And the thing, just the way the tables were arranged, there was no good way to get in and out.
Yeah, there was no non-awkward way to get in and out of that room. Right. However, I don't know if you saw any of the pictures from that night.
I did. Yes.
They ended up looking great because of that blank background.
Yes, Travis Santo is an amazing photographer.
Like I think some people got some headshots out of that night because the pictures ended up. Not you, unfortunately.
Not me.
Because you had some sort of gunshot wound in your head.
Yes, I have this. As I pointed out, it is not a zit. It is a reminder that my wife is right, and she did not hit me. It's just sunburn that kind of went awry.
That is a burn from a cast iron skillet from when he told his wife, "I don't like your food anymore now that I lost weight."
Yeah, I said, "Sweetie, I love you, and whatever I did, I'm sorry." And
you cook with a cast iron skillet?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I like using a cast iron skillet, but I don't. I like it. I like the results.
Yes.
I don't like having to deal with the cast iron skillet, though.
It is not as convenient as other skillets.
I used to use a cast iron grill.
Okay.
I used to have this cast iron grate that I would put on my grill that was really cool.
Right.
And I always liked that. Anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, the open mic, it went well. We had a good showing of comics. I'd say we had a total of maybe 10 comics.
That's what
something like that, 9 or 10 comics.
I did my set and left soon after. Not because
we had a couple show up late, but I think it was a total of about 9 or 10 comics, and then a total of about 6 or 7 audience members filtering in and out. I think we started with like 3 audience members, and that were our core 3, and they were doing well. And actually, 2 of them were there because of Shantytown. They had come from Shantytown. I told them, "Hey, we're doing Lily's tomorrow. Come to Lily's." But it was our first one. The venue had not done any advertising for it, which is fine. We didn't. This was kind of our soft opening for the open mic. So, and I felt like it was pretty good for just getting the word out amongst our comics, pretty much.
Yes,
is what happened.
I think so. It was nice meeting the staff.
Yeah, it's good to meet the staff and get them familiar with us. That was I think everything worked out great. Also, to be perfectly honest, if we had gotten a ton of audience members there, we wouldn't have been able to put them anywhere anyway.
Right.
So because of the way we ended up with the room, we didn't have our back room like we were intending. So like let's say 20 audience members had showed up, it probably would have been not so great. So I think it kind of worked out kind of perfectly for that night, and we had a good show. And then those pictures just turned out really good. I think a lot of people are going to get some good shots out of that.
Yeah, it looked fantastic. I'm thrilled. As a matter of fact, I was going to schedule headshots for this upcoming weekend until my face was mangled.
Until you become a monster and disfigured.
I'm becoming a character actor.
Yeah.
And since I'm losing weight, I figure I need scars.
Well, I heard they offer you the role of Quasimodo now that you have that scar on your face.
Yes, yeah. I'm a Harry Potter fanboy. I figure I'm gonna lightning strike my forehead.
Yeah, there you go. You got it. You tried to do it yourself, and
yeah.
We see what happens.
Yeah, muggled.
Lesson learned.
Yeah, muggled it up.
There's something else I was going to bring up about. I just forgot. What were we? I was going to talk to about. Anyway, that show. Every week, every Tuesday at Lily's Asian American downtown. Food was really good.
Oh,
food was good. The lumpia.
Yeah, I ordered lumpia and xiao mei, the little dumplings. So I split those with Spike and a couple of the other comedians. Good to see you, Spike. One of our sponsors.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Spike Yoder Comedy, one of our sponsors. But yeah, he was there. Right. You gave me one of your lumpia, and then I ordered some gator rangoon, which was good. Yeah. It was just like crab rangoon, but it was with alligator instead of crab.
Right.
Which I wonder. So I wonder if my wife would like it. She can't have crab because she's allergic.
Oh.
And there are, every once in a while, you'll find the cheese wontons where they don't put the crab in it.
Right.
Where it's pretty much the same, but they don't put the crab in it. But it's hard for her to find those. But
so, question though, I don't want to play with allergies because it's dangerous. But I know a lot of the crab rangoons are made with the fake crab.
So imitation crab still says, if you look at the package of an imitation crab, it still says may contain actual crab.
Okay.
It's like 1 to 5% actual crab in it. So so she doesn't mess around with it.
I wouldn't. I was just curious. That's
even if it's an imitation crab, she doesn't mess with it, and she's fine with mollusks.
Oh, thank God.
She I don't know why that was. Why was that so funny?
I have no idea.
I just mean like when we say shellfish at seafood restaurants, they're like, oh, so you can't have clams, but that's not. Those technically, yes, they are fish that have shells, but we're talking about crustaceans. We're talking about shrimp, crab, lobster, probably crayfish. I assume they're the same biologically. Crayfish. She's never tried it, but I assume crayfish.
I don't want to be speciesist.
But she can have, she can have oysters and mussels and stuff like that. I really had something I was going to talk about. I was like, I got to remember to talk about this on my way over. I was thinking about it. I was like, we got to talk about this on the podcast, and I don't remember what it was. I don't know. This week, last night, Patrick Warburton was at the Comedy Zone.
He was.
And I did not get on the show. I tried to, but Bob Lauver ended up getting the show.
I went there, and I showed up before. I was hoping to see you because I hadn't chatted with Bob. Bob was happy to be there, was upset you weren't opening, but it is what it is.
And honestly, Leah texted me and was like, she's like, she wanted to put me on as the MC, even with Bob on the show. She was going to have me still do the opening spot, but they only were having Bob do 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then Patrick was doing the rest of the time. And so I guess he just wanted all that time. Or he wanted to wrap it up a little early so they could do the meet and greet.
Yes.
Because that was going to take up time. So either way, he only wanted his opener to do 15 minutes. And so she's like, I just can't. I mean, like, I'm not going to put you up there for 5 minutes and then have Bob do 10 minutes.
Right.
Like, she just felt like that was a waste. So she didn't have me do it. But that's fine. I just assumed there was some sort of height requirement for that show.
Seeing them on stage together, I'm like, wow, it was
right. They're both giant men.
Yeah, it's like okay, yeah,
yes,
yeah, they're both, I think, 6'3".
Yeah, or maybe even taller. Yeah, I think 6'4", maybe. Yeah. Patrick Warburton is one of those guys that's like, you don't like, he's giant, he's a big dude, but he doesn't like. He looks kind of normal. Like he's not like bodybuilder big, but he's just got huge, big hands and big arms. Right. He's just one of those guys that just
he's just
naturally a big dude,
like a naturally athletic, large person who happens to be proportional at that height.
Yes, yeah, exactly. He's proportional. That's a good way to put it. Like he doesn't look. He's not lanky. He's not. Like I'm surprised he like never played in the NFL or anything like that because he's tall and just a big dude and still in phenomenal shape. By the way,
yes.
Like still looks like he's in great shape.
And I would like to say this, like I did not like talk to her more than saying hi, but his wife was also there.
Oh, really?
And
okay.
she was a delightful person.
Oh, nice.
Just like Leah was gushing about her. Bob was like, oh yeah, it's so nice. And I love it when comedians travel with their spouse.
Also, I noticed he's sporting a mustache right now.
Yes.
And I actually this is a weird thing to say, but I actually thought earlier this week I've never seen him with a mustache before. I don't know why. I don't know why I thought that earlier this week, but I thought I've never seen him with a mustache before. I bet he would look good with a mustache, and he does. He looks great.
Yeah.
He's Tom Selleck. Like he looks like some guys can pull off the mustache. I cannot pull off a mustache. I cannot. I think part of it is my distance, nostril to lip distance is not good for a mustache. So like if my mustache I need to grow it out to make it even look big, and then it's growing over my lip, that kind of thing. Yeah. I think you have to have a good distance to cover that with hair and have a good mustache.
I can kind of grow it, but it doesn't look great. And the best analogy is if you've seen A League of Their Own. I'm embarrassed. I'm blanking on the name now.
Of the actor?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I can't remember any of the male actors in there except for Tom.
Yeah, it was just a bad pencil mustache.
Yeah,
that, and like I always use that as
fat guys. It's tough for fat guys to grow a mustache.
John Lovitz.
Oh, he was in that movie?
He was in it as a scout.
You're right. You're right.
At the beginning of the movie.
Yes, I remember that now. Remember that now. And he had a mustache.
Yes,
yeah.
And I was just
very few. I think very few men look good with a mustache. Right now, the style is to have a mustache. A lot of people have mustaches, and I think that I would say less than 10% of men look good with mustaches, in my opinion. And so. And so you see, now Patrick Warburton is one of those guys. Tom Selleck is one of those guys. I'm trying to think of somebody else. I feel like you have to have a good jawline for a mustache to look good.
Like this is like the style for Navy SEALs and like college linebackers in the 1980s.
Yeah, exactly. Like that, or fire chiefs, like right. Like for some reason.
Right. So, but that's it. Like this is what that style is.
There's a guy at my church who he has had a beard for ever since I've known him. I've never known him without a beard. We've been in this congregation for I want to say 7 or 8 years. I want to say 8 years almost.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we're about to hit 8 years in this congregation, and so I've known him for 8 years, and he's a fan of my comedy. He comes to my comedy shows a lot, and he recently it's gotten too much white and gray. He thinks he looks too old with it, so he shaved it down to a mustache. Looks good with the mustache. He has one of those jawlines. But I did see him at church, and I said, "So did you get a job as a fire chief recently, or what? What made you grow the mustache?" And but yeah, he said, he thought the beard was getting too old looking, so he shaved it down to a mustache.
So now I will say this: I have never seen my father without a mustache.
Oh, that's interesting.
I've seen pictures of him. Obviously, when he was a child. Yeah. When he married my mom, he was mustacheless. But
he's always had a mustache, huh?
He's had a mustache ever since I was born. He is one of those guys. He looks good with it. Some of my wife's friends said, "Hey, if Bobby ages like his dad, that's going to be good for you. He's classically handsome." I didn't get those genes, So I come from a mustache family on one side, and I can't pull it off.
My dad, I don't know that I've ever seen him with a mustache. He's always been clean shaven. for certain things, like he was in a play. He was in a play where he played like it was like a Christmas play. He was like a wise man or something, and he grew a beard for it. And other than that, there was this holiday in Texas called Charo Day or Charo Days.
Okay.
And all the men were supposed to wear beards, grow beards for it, and he did.
Okay.
And that was the only time I remember as a kid him having a beard. I think he looks good with a beard, my dad. I think it fills out his face very well. I feel like it actually, sometimes a beard makes you look older, sometimes a beard makes you look younger. It just depends on, even though his beard is mostly gray and white, I think it makes him look a little younger, but he just does not like having a beard. He doesn't like growing a beard, even though I think he looks good with a beard, but he won't grow it. Right.
This feels like a very facial hair.
Yeah, for some reason. I don't know how this happened.
Well,
because of Patrick Warburton growing a mustache and me being attracted to him. I didn't say that earlier.
No. I mean, it was never implied by me either.
Anyway, I was a little disappointed that I didn't get to open for him, but it was fun I showed up a little late because I had another thing. I decided to go to my son's fundraiser since I wasn't opening for him. And I showed up about a little before 8 o'clock, so I caught most of Patrick Warburton's set.
I left probably 5 minutes into his set, so I just missed
So you just missed me.
Yeah.
And then I did the open mic. Now, our number one fan of the podcast was at the show, was at the Patrick Warburton show.
At the Patrick Warburton show.
Yes, our only person to ever email us anything.
Okay.
John Stallings, he was at the show with his kid, Finn. Okay. And they're both big fans of Patrick Warburton, so they came to the show.
I'm sorry I did not get to meet them.
I know, it would have been fun.
It would have been fantastic.
They said, we're so sad that Bobby's not here.
Yeah.
We regret all our life decisions leading up to this moment. And then, so anyway, they were at the show, and then they stuck around for the open mic afterwards, so they got to see me do some comedy.
Okay.
John was not that happy. He was fine. He had a fun time, but he was not too thrilled with the content of some of the other comics, which you got to expect at the open mic. He said, "You got any cleaner shows coming up?"
Okay. Yeah.
So, John, if you want to come to the Nocatee show. I don't know how far that is from where you guys live. If you want to come to the show in Nocatee, a really good beer stop, it's going to be me and Bobby. So it's going to be a clean show because of me and Bobby. The openers, Daniel Biddle's fairly clean. He's pretty clean. And he's going to be emceeing the night. And then we've got a kind of a guest set. He's probably going to do about 5 or 10 minutes. His name's Christopher. No, did I say that right? Is it Christopher? No, I can't remember. He lives in Nocatee, and that's why he's on the show. He actually is the reason we're having this show.
That is perfect. Then.
He came to he came to Shantytown, and he said, "Hey, I live in Nocatee. That's far from everything. Any chance we could get a show set up in Nocatee?"
Daniel Biddle and Christopher Valdivia. Valdivia.
Christopher Valdivia. Valdivia?
Oh, Valdivia.
Christopher Valdivia.
Christopher V.
He's going to be on the show, but he lives in Nocatee, and he's the one who suggested really good beer stop for the show. So he's the reason we're doing the show there, and so I wanted to get him on the show and get him involved. But anyway, so. Yeah, John, if you're listening to that, John Stallings, come to that show. That'll be a fun show to come to. We've got some other ones coming up, but that's probably the closest one in the near future, June 6th. We will be at Shantytown. But when I say closest, I mean closest to his house. Shantytown is in Springfield, which is close to downtown Jacksonville. Shantytown, May 30th. That's going to be a good show. We've got Brandon Follett and Richard Aragon on the show. So that should be a great show. We'll usually do this at the end, but for some reason we're doing it now.
It all just kind of lined up.
Yes. But come every Tuesday at Lily's. Come to Lily's downtown. The food's great. The show's great. We've got a great lineup. Chris Buck is running it with me. He's a great comic. We ended up having him just kind of close the show last night, Tuesday night rather. But yeah, come to Lily's every Tuesday. All right, so we are going to go into fan mail. This is a couple weeks old. I don't think I read this one, though. This is in response to our free comic book day.
Okay.
I really enjoyed this week's episode for Free Comic Book Day. When I was really into comics, I don't think we had that. Yeah, I think he's right. I don't know how long Free Comic Book Day's been around. I don't think it was the thing when I was a kid.
If it was a thing, it wasn't advertised.
Yeah, I was really into my local comic book shops when I was a kid, so I think I would have known if it was a thing, or at least they weren't participating in all my local comic book shops that I knew.
Right, and I just went so infrequently that I wouldn't know.
So that's a fun thing that they've introduced. My main collecting years were from 1986 until around 1992 or 93, during which I was deeply into the DC universe. I picked up reading again a bit around 2001, but nowhere near as much as I did back then. These days, I still read occasionally, mostly on my iPad with a DC Universe Infinite Ultra subscription, which I've had one of those too. It's very nice. They're a great subscription. Get you access to everything. I love being able to read in bed without needing good lighting or risking damage to a collectible. Oh, and the price is much better. Even $120 a year, it's far cheaper than buying individual issues and no more worrying about where to store the long boxes. That's true. I prefer reading on an iPad to reading physical comic books. I know that sounds almost like sacrilegious.
It does, but I also
like
get
comic books, and now if there's a good run of books, I'll collect I like to collect the trades. When there's a storyline that I put all together in one volume, I'll collect that as a collectible. Or I'll get a hardcover of something as a collectible. I still collect comic books, but I don't like reading them as much as I like reading them on digital. Physical comic books, I'm not as big of a fan of it anymore as I used to be. My son still likes physical comic books because he likes to draw from them.
Yes.
So he likes to look at them while he draws, and it's easier to do that.
And it's easier to
put
the paper over and
if you want to trace something,
just to figure out how to do that, because that's one of the ways I learned.
My first memory of buying and reading comics was back in the late 70s, sneaking a few Richie Rich issues into the grocery basket when my parents weren't looking. In the early 1980s, I started buying more Richie Rich and other Harvey comics at the local drugstore myself. I think you mentioned something about Detective Comics keeping its numbering, which is why it's so high. Detective Comics did restart its numbering in 2011 during the New 52, but DC later changed its mind and reverted to the original numbering in 2016 with Rebirth. Action Comics followed the same pattern, but you might have already known that about Detective Comics renumbering. Additionally, Action Comics was briefly Action Comics Weekly from issues 601 to 649. Oh, that's interesting.
Okay.
They did that weekly? It's normally a monthly thing.
Yeah.
So I guess they did it weekly for a while, for about 48 issues. They did it weekly, almost a year.
Yeah.
They did it weekly. That's funny.
I can see them at the end of the year just being like, nah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I know. Like, this is too much work. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for another great episode. Keep up the good work. Looking forward to the next one. Excelsior, true believer.
I love that sign off.
Yeah. So, I did know that Detective Comics had redone their numbering. Yeah, they're I don't know what they're at right now, but they're super high, Detective Comics.
Yes.
Anyway, that was Free Comic Book Day. Here is now. Did you end up doing anything actually on Free Comic Book Day?
No.
I went to a comic book shop up in Georgia.
Okay.
Because I had a show up in Kingsland.
Okay.
So I went to a local comic book shop up there, and got some Star Wars stuff because it was Star Wars the next day. Star Wars Day.
We were going to go, and we just got caught up doing other things. And my son, although he's interested, was like, I'd rather go do this. Like, whatever. So I'm like, I'm fine, because if I went to Free Comic Book Day, even though they're free, I'm going to spend more money.
Yeah,
there.
That's true. Yeah, right. That's the point. Yeah, that's the point of Free Comic Book Day,
which is genius, and I love it. I'm fine with it. I know it, but I'm also okay not doing it sometimes.
All right, so this is fan mail for our sleepover episode.
Oh, okay.
This is last week's episode with Wes. Thank you for another great episode. Sleepovers can be dangerous, fun, and life-changing. You'll never get my sleepover story. My sleepovers with fire, fun, usually happen during scout camp. Yeah, that's definitely checks out. Which could be considered a sleepover of sorts, I guess. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, sure, it's a sleepover, but not like you're not sleeping over at somebody's house. But yeah, definitely some shenanigans go on at scout camp. I also want to thank you for mentioning Patrick Warburton being at the Comedy Zone. I had no idea, but I looked into it, and needless to say, my oldest and I now have tickets. Oh, I already said that part. I hope to see you there, and I especially hope you're part of it. I was not part of it.
Sorry.
So, but yes, scout camp. I mean, we didn't even talk about camp.
No,
that's a whole nother. That's a whole nother shenanigans episode.
Like I had like a really weird experience at like it was like a church retreat camp thing.
Really?
Yeah. It was, so we'd go to these cabins up in this I forget exactly where it was, but it used to be like a small like ski place, so they'd have some cabins, they had hills, we'd go sled riding there, stuff like that, a couple boys cabins over here like half a mile away, some girls cabins, but they also had phones. So we're messing around with the phone, of course, and people couldn't hear us, and we're looking at it, we took it apart, and it didn't have like the little thing you spoke into, you had to unscrew it and you take it off and that little piece came out. It wasn't.
It was
in
missing.
There. It was missing, and we're all just sitting there like, are you? We're sure. Like we're sitting there. Everyone's in the room. Someone else took it apart and it was there again. We didn't see who.
What?
we didn't see who could have put it in or taken it out.
Was it stuck to the inside of the cap?
No, like that's the part. Like I'm sure I'm remembering something incorrectly. I'm sure somebody was playing a joke on us. If that's so, funny. I've got no idea how.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Remember discovering that was a thing, like unscrewing that thing and the little microphones in there or the speakers on the other side. I discovered it. Well, I probably knew it before, but they did it in Mission Impossible. They unscrewed it and then he put a bug in there.
Right.
So like that was the way to bug phones, was to put a little bug inside there because nobody checks inside the little thing.
Yeah.
Nowadays, those things don't. Actually, those phones like that, like pay phones like that style, they exist at Disney.
They do?
Yeah. Yeah, like they still have payphones at Disney. They still have landline payphones at Disney. Isn't that weird?
It is.
Who's using that?
I would have to assume they use it.
Somebody's using it.
It's the Illuminati.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, they're on Club 33.
Yeah.
Which is obviously tied to the pyramid.
We just went to Disney this past weekend. I'll talk about that. We'll probably do some sort of Disney related episode, but I've been to every park now recently.
Okay.
So I do want to talk about that sometime. We're not going to talk about it today, but I just finished going to all 4 parks. And I do want to talk about I will say, just as a teaser, we'll find a Disney subject of some kind to talk about. I'm sure there's going to be like theme park day or something like that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But I will say, the greatest roller coaster I've ever been on in my entire life is the Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster.
Really?
At Epcot.
Really?
It's phenomenal.
Oh, my.
I could not believe how good that roller coaster was. It's so good. I don't know if you have been to Disney recently. Have you?
I have not been to Disney very recently. It's been like 2 years or so.
I don't know when how long that ride's been at Epcot. Right now, Florida residents can get a 4-day pass for $40 or something,
right,
which is really good. It's like $60 a day, whatever it amounts to, is $60 a day for 4 days. And I mean, it's almost worth it just to do Epcot and do Guardians of the Galaxy. It was really good. Like it's like Space Mountain, but better and with more stuff going on.
Oh,
and there's music, there's good music, and there's good visuals, and the cars are, and it's a newer ride, so it's much smoother than Space Mountain. Space Mountain's super old. Space Mountain's been around for
Space
a
Mountain
long
is the
time.
First roller coaster I ever rode, and I was full.
I love Space Mountain. It's one of my favorites, and up until this weekend, Space Mountain was my favorite roller coaster. Guardians of the Galaxy beats it.
I'm looking forward to being able to ride Space Mountain again.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, right. Did you get too big to ride it?
I was way too fat.
I'm sure you can ride them now. You're smaller than me now, and I rode them. So
yeah, I'm. That's one of the things I'm kind of looking forward to.
Now, Universal for some reason is not as fat friendly.
Yeah.
So Disney is. I have not had any problems. I've never had a problem getting onto a Disney roller coaster. Universal, I've had like 4 roller coasters I can't ride. I don't know why. I don't know why they're just Universal doesn't. Yeah, there's like I don't think I can ride. I think I tried. There's like a couple Harry Potter ones, and then I think the Hulk I can't. I'm too big for now, or I have been for a while. I don't know. I think I tried years ago, and I haven't tried again. And I'm not smaller than I was back then. So
I actually haven't tried a lot recently.
Yeah. Well,
but even at the height of my weight, a couple years leading up to it, because when we would go, my son did not want to ride roller coasters, and I wasn't going to wait by myself.
My middle son is just now the oldest son loves roller coasters, but now my middle son likes them. So we did a lot of roller coasters in this Disney trip.
Absolutely.
But anyway, we're going to move on to our subject today. We have we're at 36 minutes in.
36 minutes in.
I'm going to try to remember that. I keep forgetting every time I say 36 minutes in. How can I remember 36?
Jerome Bettis.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. So 36 minutes in, we're talking about our subject. Today is Nickel Day.
Nickel Day.
Today is Nickel Day. So this is my nickel jersey. Do you see this?
That is a phenomenal nickel jersey. It says nickel.
It says nickel on the back. My brother-in-law, John, a different brother-in-law named John.
So many brother. They're all named John.
This is my wife's brother. Had this jersey made for me for Christmas one year.
That's phenomenal. I noticed the nickel
here.
up here.
There's a nickel right here. Now, technically, today is in celebration of the metal nickel, the elemental. And the elemental symbol is Ni. And its atomic weight is 28.
It's a capital N and a lowercase I.
Lowercase I, atomic weight of 28. Nickel is the 5th most abundant metal on Earth. I didn't bother looking up what the 1 through 4 were, but but it is fitting. It's the 5th most. Since nickel is 5 cents.
And that is why they named the nickel the nickel.
I don't think that's true.
That is not. I have no.
I'm pretty sure it had nickel in it at some point, and that's why they called it a nickel.
Yeah, and they
actually technically, in as far as the mint is concerned, it is the 5-cent piece. Nickel is its nickname, so it is called a nickel. But because they used to, I don't know if they do anymore, but they used to use nickel in the making of nickels.
Okay.
Or they used to be all exclusively made out of nickel. Now, nickel is a very versatile metal. It's used a lot in guns and things like that. It's a very strong metal, but it's not too hard to deal with. Right. It's very easy to melt it down and do stuff with it.
It has a lower boiling point, but it is still very durable.
But it's still very durable, so they use it a lot in firearms because of that. Obviously steel is harder than nickel, but steel is much heavier than nickel.
Yes.
And it can, steel can. Some steel can rust, and some steel doesn't rust. It just depends on how the mixture.
And steel is not an element, so it has to be combined.
Exactly, it has to be forged.
Yeah,
and combined with other. Like it's a combination of metals. Steel is.
It's a refining process much harder.
Now, I will say nickel is not great for jewelry because nickel will make your whatever you're putting it on turn green. So if you get a ring or a necklace made out of nickel, it's going to turn you green.
Yeah.
It's not great. So it's not great for jewelry. Stainless steel is good for jewelry.
Why does it turn you green?
I don't know. It just oxidizes and then. But that is kind of weird, huh? I guess it oxidizes, and then it rubs off on you. I think it's your sweat. I bet it's your sweat.
Yeah,
I bet that's what it is.
Most likely, it's because you are dead or in jail.
Yeah, that's what it is. So anyway, we
I'm gonna find out.
We have a. Oh, you're gonna look it up real quick.
Yeah.
Why does it turn your skin green?
Yeah.
I'm guessing it was definitely an oxidation of the, or maybe it's the salt from your sweat. I bet that's what it is. Because I don't think a nickel turns green on its own.
Can react with moisture.
Yeah.
And the natural acids in your skin, leading to a green discoloration. This reaction, while not dangerous, is a chemical oxidation process. So you're a scientist. Yeah. You are basically a scientist.
I'm the smartest man in the world.
Yeah. You know yourself.
All right. So for those of you that don't know, Nickel is not my real last name.
What? You son of a...
My real last name... Nickel is not my real last name. It's actually a nickname I got in high school. I started going by Nickel because I thought nobody could pronounce my last name, and so I started going by Nickel for comedy. My real name, my first name is. This is the new way I've been telling the joke. Okay. I don't know if I've told you this yet. So I have a joke where I say Nickel's not my real name. My real last name is much more Italian sounding. It's very ethnic sounding. It's hard to pronounce. It's chest hair, spaghetti, and meatballs. That's my real last name. But now I've thought this is way more subtle, and I think less people will laugh at it. But I think it's funnier if I say actually Joey Nickel isn't my real name. It's a stage name. My real name is Joseph Nickel. I don't know why. To me, that's funnier. The subtle humor is funnier than the chest hair, spaghetti, and meatballs. But
I do like that version more.
But anyway, I like the subtle misdirect of obviously they think I'm talking about Nickel. But anyway, but
I have this important question. You've told me that you got that nickname in high school and you started using it. How did you get that nickname in high school?
This is what we're going to talk about.
Okay.
My brother gave me this nickname.
Okay.
And I don't know where it came from. So we're going to call my brother on the phone. Oh, he's here right now. I don't know. Somebody's at the door. Is it a package?
It does not matter. It can be my neighbor.
I wish it was my brother right now. I wish I had worked that out for my brother to come and ring the doorbell at that moment.
That would have been the most amazing thing to have ever happened.
I wish
life.
That's what was happening right now. But no, we're just gonna give him a call. He is expecting the call, so hopefully, just put it on speaker. I'll hold it up to the microphone.
Hello?
Hey, this is your brother.
Hey.
Your brother Joseph.
Yes.
You're on the podcast right now with Bobby.
Well, hello.
Listen, today is Nickel Day.
Oh.
I was just explaining, how it's not my real name. How my real name is not Joey Nickel. It's Joseph Nickel. I was explaining how my real last name is not Nickel. And I was telling them how you gave me the nickname of Joey Nickel.
Yeah.
I do not know where that came from. I don't know where you came up with the name Nickel. So I was hoping you could enlighten us.
I can. It's a fictional reference. We were coming up with what would be good mob characters for us.
Like mob nicknames?
And I was a big guy. So, of course, Johnny Two Tons made sense.
Right.
And then we were like, well, we're not going to call you Joey 1 3/4 tons, because you're just slightly smaller than me. I said, what if the guy leaves a nickel every time he, whacks a guy or something like that? And so it was like, you'd be Joey Nickel. And we were like, that sounds so cool. And it was like, people always say you can't give yourself a nickname. But we pretty much did. So
I do remember that now. I do remember you saying, "What if he left nickels at whenever he whacked a guy?" I remember we put
bandits.
them. Yes, I put them on their eyes. For the River Styx. Instead of pennies, I put nickels on their eyes.
Yeah, and it's also an Irish nod because we're half Irish. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like the Boondock Saints,
Yeah, I didn't. Now I remember you saying that about the nickel thing, But I also I forgot about you saying like we can't call you like 3/4 or like 3/4 tons or anything like
because I used to always joke, like before you'd gotten back from your mission, and I was like, oh, he's going to be back soon, and they're like, oh, what's your brother like? I was like, well, he's just like me, but 7/8 the size.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Like the whole mini-me thing.
Yes, right, just slightly, just slightly, just a couple inches shorter and a couple inches thinner.
Yeah, dimensions to scale.
Yeah, dimensions to scale. Exactly. But I think I wear a bigger shoe size now.
Yeah, I think you do. Actually,
I do. I think because I have flat feet though, and you didn't. I don't think you have flat feet.
I have to wear wide shoes, but not all that big.
But not all that big. I think you wear 12 wides. I think I'm up. I'm up to 13s now. I have been for a few years.
Well, and the funny thing is when we sit down next to each other, we're the same height because our torsos are the
same. Right, our
height.
torsos. What's funny is it's my legs that are shorter. Like you, yes, our torsos are the same height.
Like 2 inches.
Yeah, so when we sit down, we look like we're the same height. And people have thought we were twins for years. All the time. But anyway, we just wanted the origin of the name Nickel. So it's a fictional character that my brother that you made up.
It's basically a persona that we made for ourselves,
All right.
I love it.
So.
Yeah. I guess that's it.
Well, it helps when you move around because people are like, oh, well, what do people call you? Well, they don't know if you're telling the truth or not. You can make up whatever you want.
That's true. You can make up whatever nickname you want.
So you move somewhere else and they're like, oh, yeah, but my friends call me, and there you go. You got your new nickname.
Right.
So
I think I don't think I ever. I know that you gave me that nickname in high school, but I don't know.
Like right towards the end.
Yeah, I don't know that I ever really used it in high school.
I don't think so, really.
I used Crane a lot in high school.
Crane.
Yeah, that goes way back.
That goes way back.
To 93.
Yes, I used Crane a lot because that was my character's name in the movie we made.
Yeah, the first
we'll
movie
talk
we
about
ever
that
made.
at some point.
Okay.
It's got to be like a filmmaker's day or something like that.
Something like that. But anyway, all right. Well, I'll let you get back to whatever you were doing. You're out of town or something, right?
Yeah, I'm about to eat spaghetti.
Okay.
Fittingly.
Well, good luck with the spaghetti.
I mean, perfect.
Good luck with the spaghetti. We know that you're very prepared for it. So.
Always.
Anyway, thank you for answering the phone. So anyway, talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
All right, so there you have it. That's where the name came from. So my brother gave me the nickname. It's a character he made up.
I mean, your brother invented you.
Yeah, my brother invented me.
So we are living in a simulation.
Yeah.
That's pretty much proof.
Written by my brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I've never asked what's your real name.
it is Bobby.
I set you up perfectly. You're supposed to say, actually, it's Robert.
I went the other way. I want people to think it's my real.
You should have said it's actually Robert Parker. Is it actually Robert though?
It is.
It
yes,
is. But
yes.
you go by Bobby, obviously.
Yes.
Is your dad Bob?
So my dad, I am a junior.
Yeah.
I am a junior.
I think we've talked about this, but I don't remember what you said.
My dad does go by Bob, but mostly by Butch.
I did not see that coming.
Yeah. So
Butch Parker?
Butch Parker.
All right.
We've got a lot of Roberts in our family.
Yeah.
So he grew up in an era when that was a cool, tough name.
Robert?
No, Butch.
Or Butch, yeah. Obviously.
So
it is still a tough name, but I'd say it's more associated with probably somebody who grew up being named Butch probably would not like what Butch is used for now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's kind of where that thought's going.
So he doesn't go by Butch anymore?
He does, but
to his old friends probably.
Yeah.
But is he Bob though? Is he a Bob?
Yeah, he's Bob.
See, I feel like somebody who went by Butch would go by Bob too. Like that's their preferred version of their first name, Bob. Yeah. I feel like Bobby's a great comedy name.
Yes,
Bobby. I feel like Bob is too, but not with Parker. Bob Parker doesn't sound like
Bob Hope
Bob Hope.
So you've got the pop and the pop.
Yes.
One syllable, one syllable.
Yes. I don't feel like Bob Parker maybe it's just because I know you as Bobby Parker, but Bob Parker doesn't sound. That sounds like sounds like a sports announcer.
So Bob Parker is what I wanted to be called, like at the end of my junior year to my senior year of high school. So I'm like, okay, I'm getting older. Now it's time to be cool. I'm going to go by Bob. And I'm like, it's not me.
Yeah. Also, I feel like for some reason, Bobby sounds better for a fat guy. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Bobby sounds like a funny fat guy.
It also sounds less serious.
Yeah, for sure.
And
for sure.
I don't want to be serious all the time.
And Bob Lawver goes by Bob Lawver, but I feel like Bobby Lawver sounds weird. Like if he went by Bobby, even though Bobby is a softer name, like a funnier name, I feel like Bobby Lawver. I don't know why that's weird. Doesn't that hit your ear really odd?
Yeah,
Bobby Lawver.
Yes, it's a name that doesn't really flow.
Maybe it's because Lawver is such a unique name that having just Bob in front of it kind of works. You know how when you have a weird name and just having a one syllable name kind of fits.
Right. It almost feels like Bobby Lawver is trying to play off of the joke from Arrested Development, Bob Law.
Yeah, Bob Law's Law Blog or what? Yeah,
Yeah, it just
Bobby
feels
Lawver
unnatural.
sounds weird. Robert Lawver, maybe, but there's too much. I think that's too much syllables. Robert Lawver or something. I don't know.
Right. That's only going to sound right if there's a middle name there.
Yes, exactly. Robert, or even an initial like Robert J. Lawver.
Yeah, Robert M. Lawver.
Yeah, but then that sounds like he does sound like a lawyer now because he's got law in his name.
Right.
But also Robert Parker. You can't be Robert either. Robert Parker does not sound like a stand-up comic.
No.
Robert Parker sounds like a congressman or something. You know what I mean?
And even that, it's not one of the congressmen that was elected for charisma. He was elected because he bought it.
Yeah. And Rob Parker that sounds terrible. Rob Parker, that's hard to say.
He sounds like an emotional guy. He's like despondent and like, I'm Rob.
Yeah. Honestly, there's no other. You couldn't have gone by any other name but Bobby. Yeah. That was it.
Well, here's the question: am I Bobby because I went by Bobby, or is it Bobby?
Did your name shape you, or did you? Yeah. Or is it? It's like a wand. It's like Harry Potter and a wand. It's like your wand chooses you. Your name chose you.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Huh. I think that's about it.
Yeah.
I've got a trivia show to get to, and we've been going about an hour here. What shows you got coming up?
So we've got Shantytown. We've got Real Good Beer Stop. Is that's the right name?
Really Good Beer Stop in Shantytown. Those are going to be through 2 weeks apart. No. 1 week apart. 1 week apart.
Yep,
yes.
Exactly.
So we've got
a week apart.
Shantytown on Friday the 30th, then Really Good Beer Stop on Friday the 6th.
Yes.
And then open mic every Tuesday at Lily's. Open mic every Monday at Shantytown. You at the Comedy Zone. I'm at the Comedy Zone on the 28th, May 28th. Come out to the Comedy Zone. I will shout out this comic. Can you look up the Comedy Zone schedule real quick? Okay, I am trying to get on this show to be the MC or feature for this comic. I'm going to shout her out anyway, even if I don't end up on the show. I can't remember her. Yeah, okay. Yamanika Saunders. I saw her at the Cellar in New York while I was in New York. Phenomenal comic. Really funny. Yep. Yamanika Saunders. Go see her at the Comedy Zone, May 22nd through the 24th. I'm trying to get on that show, but we never find out until it's like week of.
She is one of the ones I remember you talking about.
Yes, yep. Yamanika Saunders. Yep. Saunders, I think, or Sanders. Saunders. It's got a U in it. She's hilarious. I had never heard of her until I saw her at the Comedy Cellar. Really funny. Really good storyteller. But yeah, I recommend going and seeing that show, even if I don't end up on the show. But I will be on the 28th on Wednesday for the Best of Jacks, assuming it doesn't get canceled for some reason. But other than that, come out to the mics. Well, today has been Nickel Day.
Hey, it's one of my favorite days so far.
Celebrate by telling your friends about this podcast, and make sure you like and subscribe and share it with everyone that you know. Our wonderful podcast, and come to one of my shows. Celebrate Nickel Day by coming to one of my shows.
Yes.
I do not have a show on Nickel Day.
No. But hopefully you can go earn a nickel or two.
Yep.
You see what I did there?
Yeah. If I did have a show, I'd have to charge a nickel.
Oh, yeah.
No, that would be bad. I don't want to charge a nickel. I'd rather charge nothing than a nickel. Then I got to deal with nickels.
Nickel. I don't want to prolong it, but I'm glad we didn't have a chance to talk about Nickel Beer Night in Cleveland.
Oh, that sounds what at the stadium?
It was an Indians game that turned into a riot.
So there are states that have laws against that now. Do you know about that?
Most likely because of
likely because of stuff like that.
Yeah.
There are states that have laws that are like you can't sell beer for less than you pay for it. For reasons like that, like people get too drunk and stuff like that. But I will be in Ohio in the middle of June.
Fantastic.
And I looked up to see if the Guardians were going to be in a town. They are out of town the whole week I'm there. So we won't be going to a Guardians game. But anyway, today is Nickel Day. Celebrate Nickel Day. Thank you for listening. My name is Joey Nickel.
I'm Bobby Parker.
See you tomorrow.
Have a good one.